So, I have a sponsor for the show. How exciting. Now, I know that we all love online shopping. Need to go to sleep? Nah, I just remembered. I need a new dress. I need shoes, a bag, and I need sunnies. Yeah, I need a few things. For competitive online prices and some new styles, go to www.alianastore.com and shop away. Just make sure you go to sleep after it. So that's www.alianastore.com for all your online shopping needs. So, how do you solve a problem like Mariah? As my brother said, spoiler alert, you can't. So there you go. I'm just an Australian girl with the world at her feet, working in public relations and communications, who is learning about life and myself every single day. And join me as I tell stories, share my outlook on life, and just talk utter garbage. This podcast is where I talk about my world, your world, and the world around us, to hopefully inspire or just entertain. It'll be fun though, I promise. In today's episode, I give an update on the Yes Woman Challenge. I have a good life hack for sharing Ubers with your friends. My dad joins the show to talk about the Spring Carnival, which I'm sure everyone will look forward to. And I go through a very messy fortnight. So let's get started. Welcome. So I'm back for another compelling episode of How You Solve a Problem Like Mariah. Apologies, I'm very tired. I've just literally gotten back from our netball trip, which I'll talk about later in the show. It's Sunday night right now, and I'm buggered. I just want to get this recorded. So apologies if the quality of the episode is not as good as previous, but I think we'll be okay. We'll be fine. So I just want to give an update on the Yes Woman Challenge. I'm nearly finished, thank God. Oh my God. It's really hard to remember to say yes sometimes, and I have to actually backtrack. So the last 2 weeks since the last episode, I had to say yes to junk food multiple times. Pods, banana bread from Mervyn at work. But look, to be honest, I'm not that sad about it. At the end of last week, I had to say yes to giving Mervyn no more attitude for the rest of the week, which for those who know me and know what I'm like with Mervyn at work, I can be quite sassy. We fight like brother and sister. So I did well though. And it was nice. It was actually nice to be nice for a change. But he did say he missed the sass, and I was a little bit boring, less sassy. So that was interesting. But lucky he only asked me to do that on Wednesday. So I only had Thursday and Friday to go. I had to say yes to buying Liv nuggets because she tagged me in a post on Facebook, which I actually ended up buying her entry to the nightclub over the weekend. So I said, this is your nuggets. My brother tagged me in, tag someone, and if they don't respond within 5 minutes, they owe you $20. So he knew exactly and did that to me. Thank you, Campbell. And when he come down, before I drove him to the airport so he could fly out to America, I had to buy him dinner for the $20. So thanks for that. I said yes to a work concert. So at work, we have an agency that does a lot of our digital marketing, and they had tickets to the Nova Red Room to see Anne-Marie, and I said yes. Usually I would say yes anyway, so it's not much different. But I took my housemate, and oh my God, she was so cute and so amazing. I'll play some footage of one of her songs, so we'll play that now. Alright, then I said yes to no shots for 4 weeks. I'll talk about how I managed to get around that over the weekend, but yeah, no to shots for 4 weekends, and I'll tell you why exactly a little bit later as well. I got tagged in a the person that doesn't respond within 5 minutes on Facebook has to buy you Nando's from my friend Nicole. So I end up buying her HSP on Friday night of our netball trip to make up for that. So I've been buying a lot of free food. Then on Thursday night, I was getting ready for netball trip and I was packing my bag, and I got my vodka bottle from upstairs, took it downstairs to pack, and my housemate's brother asked me if I'd like to have a sip of my vodka on a Thursday night. I had to say yes. I had to have a sip of vodka. That was disgusting. Then I had to say yes to applying for an expression of interest for Love Island. Someone tagged me in that on Facebook. 2 people tagged me on that. So if you see me on the newest season of Love Island, that'll be interesting. I doubt I'll even make the first cut because I'm nothing like those girls on the show. I had to, on netball trip, drink a drink that was left overnight at one of the pubs we went to. That was disgusting. I lifted my shot ban when my friend asked me if I would like to do a shot on netball trip. I sculled my drink when I was asked to on netball trip. And I had to ask a couple if they were on a Tinder date during the day. I'd only probably had 4 or so drinks. I was not even that drunk, but you know what? That was pretty fine because I just told them and they were on a Tinder date. So all the best to them. Update, Hayley, sorry I haven't brought you your tacos yet. I'll extend that, so I will pay your tacos because I bought all the other girls' food or repaid those debts, so that's only fair. My friend Nicola, who's also doing the challenge, she sent me what she's done. So in one of the last episodes of this month, we'll get her back on and we'll go through what she's had to do and what she's learnt. But so far she had to drive to Melbourne for work. She had to say yes to that. She had to say yes to eating dessert every night for a week, even though it doesn't sound like such a bad thing. But when you really don't want to eat dessert every night for a week and when you want to try being healthy, that's actually really cruel. And she was away for work, so no one really knew about the Yes Challenge. So she kind of had a pretty cruisy week, but she has netball trip coming up, so we'll get a good update from her when we have the final catch up. All right, so my life hack for this episode is called Uber Split Fare. Now, probably most of people know what this is, but for those who don't, actually, one of my friends, Kelsey, said over the grand final weekend, you should put this on your podcast because I don't think many people know. So for those who aren't aware, on the Uber app, if you have someone's number in your phone and they have an Uber account, you can request to split the fare. So you don't have to worry about, you get this Uber and I'll buy you a drink at the bar, or you get this Uber, I'll get the other one. You can simply add their phone number. If they've got Uber, you can split the fare and you're all set, or just split it between the amount of people in the car, which is really helpful these days, especially, you get a taxi, you get rides, you get to a destination, someone's only got a card, or it's really messy. So that's a really good life hack. Now, this is going to be, I guess, the highlight of this show. I know most people that know my dad will love this. Firstly, I want to let you guys know that my dad's on the show and I've interviewed him to go on the show to give a bit of a spring carnival update. My dad is a gambling man, a betting man. He does love horse racing, and for all my life, grew up with horse racing. I'm not that big of a gambler. My brother is, but my dad, it's just his hobby and that's what he likes to do, and that's his weekend. He's finally got the betting app, which means he can do it from his phone, or what he calls Mum and Dad's iPad, the good thing, because it's a good thing. It does all of his favourite things. He can put a bet on, he can check the weather, he can look at his bank details, so it's a good thing. Anyway, just before I get him on, I just want to explain to you about my childhood. He was an amazing dad, and we always did stuff. And when we were about to go somewhere, we'd be ready to go, whether it was dinner or on a holiday, I don't know, wherever we're going, it was always, usually go by time. So we'll leave at 6, say. Yeah, we'll leave at 6. Just got to get ready, we'll be gone by 6 o'clock. Not in my household. Mine was, we'll leave after race 9. So Dad had to make sure that he had enough time in between races to get from we're home to the destination, so he could check his bets or listen to it in the car. So it was always, we'll leave after this race. So that was kind of my childhood time frame. Not actual time, but what race was on, and that was generally on the weekends. But just so everyone has a little bit of an update on what that was all about. So I'll just go to the recording of my dad, and I hope you love him as much as I do. So before I introduce you, I just want to tell everyone that I rang you 10 minutes ago to see if you were ready, and I could hear the races in the background. You told me you had a race in 3 minutes, and you'd text me when your race was over. So I just want everyone to appreciate this man's love for horse racing. Anyway, so today I have my dad on the show. For those who don't know my dad, he's a humble man, an absolute legend, and the most amazing dad. So welcome, Dad. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Mariah, for inviting me to speak on your podcast. By the way, the horse lost. So
not worth it.
Thanks for interrupting that. But anyway, we'll go on with what you're going to do.
All right. So we want to talk about Spring Carnival, which has started. Have you picked any winners so far?
Naomi Caulfield Cup horse, Kingswood Dream, didn't do very well at all. I backed a couple of winners in the minor races, but none of the majors so far.
And we also had Campbell, my brother's horse, win, double the magic. And did you put a lot of that money on that, or how'd you go?
No, I just had a little bit each way, some for you and some for me, but we made a profit. That's the main thing. We
did. So, and he was very happy, watched it live in New York City, so he got up pretty early. So, what are your tips leading up to the up-and-coming races in Derby Day, Cox Plate and Melbourne Cup?
No, obviously I think Winx will win the Cox Plate. It's not a very good betting proposition, but it's just a great horse to watch. I think the Derby will be won by a horse called Thinking Big, and the Melbourne Cup, I think Yakatine.
Need tips? That's
yes.
What you're going with. Are you going to launch on them, or you're not sure yet?
Well, it's probably a bit early for the Melbourne Cup. I like to wait until the last minute. They're just the early predictions. Unless something else comes up, I think I'll probably launch on those horses, yes.
And I'm going to the Melbourne Cup, Dad. What's your advice for me? Have you been before?
Not to a Melbourne Cup, no. My advice would be to set a limit on how much you're going to be prepared to lose, because you never win at the races, and don't drink too much.
Standard dad advice. Not too many champers.
Oh, not so many that you lose control of what you're doing.
All right, so you've been a betting man for a very, very long time. Do you have any funny stories from the races, or any funny horse racing stories to tell?
Well, it's just a bit of advice for young players that haven't been betting on races for very long. One, always do whatever your partner suggests when she wants to have a bet, or he, or whoever they may be. I can remember a story when your mum was heavily pregnant, whether you or Campbell, I can't remember. And I was going over the pub to have a bet, and she said, "Can you back a horse called Still Kicking?" Because obviously whichever one you used was in her stomach at the time, was doing a lot of kicking. So I went over the pub, had a few pots, forgot to put the bet on. I arrived home, I'm laying on the floor in the lounge room watching the race, and the only time I realised I hadn't put the bet on was when Still Kicking strode to the front with about 100 metres to go, and Mum very excited because it was paying about $40. No, and without a word of a lie, she kicked me fair in the guts.
So you're still kicking?
Yeah. So always put your bets on that your partner asks you to put on. That's number one rule of racing. The other story I've got, I'm very superstitious about tickets. So if I've got a ticket in my wallet and the race has been ran and I've lost, I always throw it out before correct weight, which correct weight is they've declared that everything's all right and they pay the dividend. And on at least 2 occasions, I've been known to be rummaging through rubbish bins in public places looking for a ticket that I've thrown out, only to find out there's been a protest and the protest has been upheld. I think you can remember one occasion outside the Sale Plaza where I was looking left, looking right, and then ducking my hand in the bin to find a ticket. Also happened to be in Maui in the main street where I had a ticket in the bin, and I'm looking for, I was there, the only thing in the bin, but I was waiting for no one to be looking, and in the main street of a town, that doesn't always happen. So, yeah, don't throw your tickets out till after correct weight.
Oh, God, I remember the sale one. That was gold. All right, well, I've got I don't really remember this, but we've got another funny story about you and your passion for betting and you could probably tell it better, when I was little and you had a race on and I wouldn't hurry up. We were on a bushwalk. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, we went to a place called the Denanagan, which is up the back of Bairnsdale, heading towards, what's the name of the place? I can't, Dargo.
In Victoria?
The Denanagan is a fairly steep walk down to I think it's an Aboriginal place where there's like a cave at the end of this big ravine, I guess you'd call it, and then there was a walk down a creek to the Mitchell River Gorge and back up to the car. Anyway, I had a bet on. We're halfway around the walk. We're probably still some 20 metres from the car up a steep hill. You were only a toddler. I'm trying to get you to hurry up so I can get back from your race. So, you were doing your best, but you were struggling a bit, so I had to pick you up, and I think I piggybacked you and we ran up the hill back to the car. But there is some good news. The horse got up by about a short half head, so it was worth doing.
Oh, I feel like this just describes my childhood.
Not really. It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it was brilliant, but lots of horse racing. So how did you start betting? Where did this all come about? Because we now know that Campbell's a bit of a gambler. I also even had to, this weekend, because he's in America, log on to his Bet365 app, put money on his account, put his bets on, withdraw the money. I was in a nightclub on Saturday night and I needed to withdraw his $200 back into his account that he'd won. So obviously it started from you with him, but where did you start? Why are you such a betting man?
Oh, obviously my dad had a bet on the horses from time to time. I remember as a kid, and people my age would probably remember, you younger ones wouldn't. Years ago they used to have a show on Channel 7. Penthouse, I think it was called. Mike Williamson used to be the host with Mary Hardy, and during that show they used to cross to the trots at the showgrounds in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. And all dads, we'd have people around and we'd all sit around and put 2 bob in, you'd pick a horse and the pool would go to who won the race. As kids, that was a lot of fun. And the adults obviously have a drink and watch the trots, and they were pretty good nights. Sort of had fun with not a lot of outlay really, so probably started from there, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think most children wouldn't have experienced this in their childhood, but Melbourne Cup for my brother and I was probably the most fun. I remember one year, I think we even used to get the day off. I think we didn't get it from school, but you didn't put us in school, and we used to get money each, and you'd put money on a horse for each race. And I remember one year, I think it was about early on in the day, I won on a horse called Sophie's Princess. And Campbell, as cunning as he is, said, "Hey Mariah, how about we go halvies?" After I'd already won $60, and whatever we win for the day, we'll split. And I agreed stupidly, and it turned out Campbell had no winners for the day, and I had to split my $60 with him. So, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, and that sounds like him. I don't know why you let him con you all the time.
But anyway, it's very funny, and I'm hoping I'll back a winner at Melbourne Cup. And thanks for coming on the show, Dad. I know you have many of other funny stories in life, so I'm sure we'll get you back on, but I had a comment, someone asked you to be on the show, so put you on now. We're going to Vietnam soon. Are you excited for that?
Very excited.
I'm sure we'll have many of podcast stories to tell from that trip. What are you most looking forward to?
Probably a little bit of warmth. It's been cold lately where I am in Victoria, down the valley, so yeah, a little bit of warmth. And maybe the odd Singer beer or two.
How did I know you're going to say that?
I don't know.
I think there'll be more than a Singer beer or two, but we'll keep everyone posted on that.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dad. Bye. All right. So it's time for my recommendation for the fortnight. You understand why I've made this recommendation, but my first one is frozen drinks when you're hungover. Probably saved my life a few weeks ago. I'll tell you a bit more about that. So great hangover life hack as well, but recommendation, frozen drinks. You need to get one of those. And if you've got Uber Eats, you don't even have to leave your home. Or if you've got amazing housemates, they'll go down to 7-Eleven and buy you one. But yeah, frozen drinks. But in all seriousness, my actual recommendation is apple cider vinegar. Bit of a health one. I have it with honey and water. So a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 1 tablespoon of honey just to sweeten it. And I put that in the fridge the night before and I drink it generally in the morning. And I went off it for a week to test whether it worked because I started doing it and I, didn't know if I could really notice it. It felt like a detox, yeah, definitely. But I wanted to test it. So what I did was I went off it last week and oh my God, I noticed it so much. I was so hungry especially in the mornings. I was really, really hungry. So I figure that definitely does suppress appetite. Has a million other benefits, and you can even get the tablets if you don't want to do the drink. But I do the drink because I think it gets a bit of water in my body as well, but it just feels a bit healthier, a bit more like a detox. So apple cider vinegar, you can just buy normal honey or natural honey, and then the apple cider vinegar bottles in the supermarket. They're not that expensive, the one with the mother in it. And then I just mix it up in a measuring jug and put it in a water bottle and drink it the next day. So give that one a go. Let me know if you've got any other healthy hacks or recommendations for that kind of, detoxy thing. I always like to try new things, so let me know if you do. Okay, wow. So I have some antics for you, and I'm not proud of them. So I learnt a big lesson a few Friday nights ago, and I was going out with my housemate and her brother. Her brother had just come from Scotland, and we decided we'll go out. We played beer pong. I played it with vodka, and anyway, we were just drinking at home and then we're going out. And I remember we drank quite a bit of my vodka bottle. When I looked the next day, there was not much left at all. And I woke up in my bed the next morning with no memory. It's the worst feeling ever. I got up, went to have a shower, couldn't even see properly, didn't know what time it was fully clothed on top of my bed, not even in the covers, with my hair a mess and everything. And I opened my bathroom door, took off my jewellery, went to jump in the shower, and I've slipped and fallen flat on my back. My housemate obviously heard a massive thump, and she come down to see me on the floor looking at her like, what happened? She gave me a recap. She was like, wow, Mariah, it was bad. I fell over, took a dive on the concrete and looked in the mirror. I had a bruised chin, not hugely bruised, and a black eye and a scar on my eye, and all my elbow was all cut up. Then I had bruises all over my bum because obviously I fell flat on my back in the shower. So also my jaw was really sore, and I obviously fallen. She said I was dead weight. They couldn't actually lift me up. Someone walking past had to lift me up, and she said she was the most sober and we were all pretty blind. So that was a bit of an indication of my night. And I realised when I asked her the time, that was midday. So for me to actually wake up at midday after a night out is very rare. So I must have hit the deck hard, and she even had to ring her mum from Scotland to give advice to make sure I was okay, and they did an awesome job. So thank you so much for that, guys. If you're listening, that was amazing. But yeah, learnt a bit of a lesson. It is quite funny now looking back on it because nothing happened to me, but pretty traumatizing. that is why I'm always on a shot ban. She put me and her brother on a 4-week shot ban because of the tequila shots. When we went out, we did quite a few. So, big antics. I have only really ever lost memory completely from a night out twice, and the rest, sometimes you kind of lose memory, but I think as you get older, it gets worse. So I've definitely learnt my lesson from that one. And then this week I had netball trip and we went to Geelong, and it was a lot of fun, like really good girls. And first night went out, and I left a little bit earlier with some of the girls, and we were staying at, it's called the Sphinx Hotel. If anyone knows the Geelong area, it has quite a rep, but I thought it was okay. So anyway, this is probably my antics for the weekend. I put the girls to bed, or they went to bed, and thought I'll go play the pokies. I do like to play the pokies every now and then. So I went in, put my $20 in the mermaid machine, which is one of my personal favourites, apart from More Chili, which was occupied, and played my $20 last me ages actually. And then I rang some of the girls and told them where I was, and they were going to meet me to come play pokies. And as I was on the phone, I kind of saw this guy looking at me from the distance. I'm like, oh, I've been spotted on my own. Anyway, played the pokies, kind of started to fall asleep. So I would do a line of the pokey machine, have a quick kip, go back, play the pokies again, have a quick kip. And this probably lasted 5 minutes. I haven't sent my friend, and I'll try and save it, so I'll record it so I can put it on the show notes so you can see what I did. But the new iPhone, you can make your own character, and there's a feature where you can record yourself and it uses your cartoon character. And I actually fell asleep in it and sent it to it. I nearly actually fell off my chair too. When you drift back? Yeah, that was me, and nearly fell off the chair at the pokies. Anyway, so I won my $20 back, and the girls were taking ages, so I thought, I'll just go to bed. But I was really hungry and I felt like chocolate. So I went up, cashed my money in, and asked if they had chocolate. And they did. They had charity lollies, so I spent about $6 on charity lollies. Got 2 things. They weren't great, but at least I'm supporting whatever charity that was. That was really nice of me. And then I fell asleep in a cocoon on my bed in my clothes. And my friend Ash woke me up at about 3 a.m. and I was just with the chocolate coated peanuts, just still eating them in my sleep. So yeah, that was probably the funniest thing that I did on netball trip. Fell asleep at the pokies. But it was a really fun weekend. We played pub golf. I'm going to put I'm doing a blog on Geelong, which I'll talk about soon. But we played pub golf. So if you're looking for a game to play while you're out, then pub golf is a really good one. After that, it gets you pretty day drunk. And we did it dressing up. I was Winnie the Pooh, so I'll also post a photo of that as well. My childhood favourite character was Winnie the Pooh, so it was really fun. Also, I did wake up on the Saturday morning to my eyelashes stuck to the bed head, so I was pretty keen to keep those safe, so the bed head was the place to go for that. But anyway, it was a good weekend, but yeah, definitely had to pull my reins in after the last fortnight. That was not okay. So everyone needs to remember, just when you do go out, make sure you're always with your friends, just in case you do take a tumble and you can't remember everything and you wake up in your bed. Yeah, so I did succeed at adult life though. I had a white skirt on that night and managed to bleach the red drink out of it. So had a win, but yeah, always make sure you stay safe. All right, let's take it down a notch and go a little bit more motivational, because I think we all need a little bit of motivation after the last 2 weeks. So I, probably a year and a half ago, listened to a TED Talk, and I'll put it in my show notes, but it really stuck with me. And it's called Try Something New for 30 Days. So I did this. I picked something I wanted to achieve, and I did that every day for 30 days. And one of the challenges I did do in November last year was I wrote a book in 30 days, and that was the example you used. So for a 30,000 word book, I think it was 1,800 words a day, and I ended up nearly writing some days 3,000 words, and I wrote a book, and I did it in 30 days. And there is a challenge you can do, which I'll post the link in my show notes if you want to try it. The book will maybe be put public one day. I haven't read it all, and I know there's a lot of changes I want to make because, you know, you just write in the moment. But it is a book called How Do You Solve a Problem Like Mariah, and it is a lot of funny stories that have happened in my life and stuff like that. So maybe you'll read it one day. But yeah, if you've got something like a goal you want to achieve or anything like that, just set yourself 30 days and set, you know, a goal to achieve on it every day, you know, to get this podcast up and going. I was like, I want to do a podcast. I really want to do it. And I just pushed it back. And I said to myself, I'm going to work on it every day for 30 days. And by the end of the 30th day or 31st day, depending on the month, I will have started to launch my podcast. And I did. I had done nothing on it. I knew what I wanted to do. But every day I just chipped at it and just did something, whether it was pick a name, do the description, make the artwork, pick an intro song, pick topics to write on, to talk about. I did something on it every day for 30 days. So I also do an exercise challenge every day for 30 days. So it's a good way to just, like, I did a planking one, and by the end of it I was planking for 5 minutes, which I never thought I'd be able to achieve. Right now I'm doing a skipping one, so 5 minutes of skipping every day for 30 days. So it's just really good because you feel like at the end of the 30 days, you know, you've achieved something, and it could be something so minor. At the moment, I've got these old diaries that I've written when I was younger, and I wanted to read them. So I make myself read a couple pages every day just to get that happening. So if you've got a goal and you need to push yourself, watch this video and just set yourself, and you can set a reminder in your phone. I love the reminders app on iPhone. It's like my absolute, I don't know, it's my planner. It's everything. Like, sometimes I'm scared I'm always going to forget something, so I chuck it in there, put a reminder in, never ever forget. So try it. Let me know what you did every day for 30 days. I really want to know, like, what kind of challenges and what goals you've got ahead of yourself. So do that and get back to me. Now, like, let's just finish off with a cool quote. For those who have seen the movie or read the book The Secret, it's on the law of attraction, but also I think a lot of it's on believing yourself. And this quote by Henry Ford is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So really, if you think you can do something, you're right. If you think you can't do something, you're also right. So believe in yourself and just say, fuck it. Excuse my language, and sorry, Dad. But what have you got to lose? It's so true that if you want to do something, you need to believe in you. And once you believe in you, everyone else will start believing in you. You've got to have that confidence in yourself. So, but if you don't think you can do something, well, you can't, because you're not going to push yourself and you're not going to do it. So also another way of using that 30-day challenge I just spoke about, to just do it and believe in you. You know, as Nike said, just do it. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's it for me. So I'm going to sign off again with just love yourself. No one will if you don't. So always believe and love yourself. All right, I'll catch you in the next fortnight. So I hope you got something out of today's show. If you like this podcast, don't forget to tell your amazing friends. Also subscribe, rate and review on iTunes. It goes a long way to making sure other people can listen to my podcast, and your support has been amazing so far. I've had so many good comments and feedback, and I'm just super grateful. So if you could just take a couple of minutes to do that, I would be forever grateful, and I'll put it in my grateful journal that I'm going to do tonight. And if you want to add me on Instagram, you can find me at _Mariah Mackinnis_ or my travel page at A Traveller's Antics. And if you ever have any questions, I don't even care what they're about, or if you want to make any comments, you can email me. And guess what? I worked out how you can change, it's called an alias on your email. So I'm actually going to put the instructions in the show notes, just in case anyone has an @MSN or an @Hotmail that they want to change. So my new email, but not new, just new is Mariah_Mackinnis22@outlook.com. Yes, I'm moving up in the world. I'm at Outlook. So you can contact me through that. And if you want more content from me, you can find me on my blog at travellersantics.blog. And what should you read for this fortnight? I've got some new content. So last week I did a blog on personality quizzes. It's called The 4 Tendencies. It's are really interesting once you know your personality type and once you know the people around you. It really helps with you to empathize and to learn more about other people. So there's 4 tendencies. I'm a questioner, so I will meet inner accountability. I'm very good at motivating myself. But to do things for other people and meet outer accountability, I always need to know why. Answer that why. I will just got a message. Answer that why for me and I'll definitely help out. But anyway, find out what tendency you are and read the blog because it is really, really interesting. It's something I'm really interested about. And then my newest blog is on my trip away to Geelong. It's very PG rated. Maybe it's very similar to the podcast, but it's got some good tips on Geelong and going on a girls' trip, what to do, and some fun games you can play, which mainly is just the golf one I was telling you about. And yeah, if you ever go to Geelong, where to drink. So check those out. You have to ask the question then. Okay, so we're in the middle of the streets of Geelong. It's pretty rainy and I've got Alison here who's just bought a poncho from the $2 shop and I didn't agree, but this was her statement.
No one likes a wet dog.
She's dressed up as a dog. It's dress up night. You'll see it on my show notes, the photos of the girls dressed up as duos.
Thank you.
Okay, I got Brittany here to give. She's just gone back from Europe now. We're in Geelong. And straight off the plane, a couple of days of work, straight to netball trip. Brittany, can you give us a little rundown on your last month?
Yep. Ciggies are cheap, $2.50 a pack. Smoked a few. Jinky.
You heard it first. That's how you do Europe. And Geelong in the same week and month.
That bird just swooped her.